because you just told me that Echo has been pushed back, I think Echo is most likely to get canceled.
Hmm.
Reason being, now that I'm thinking about it, is that another one of our subjects, which is coming up right now, um, share the screen. Please don't freeze. Oh my God, bees knees. Um,
Yeast knees.
Marvel Studios plans to make changes in how it makes TV following internal criticism. Shows will now have proper showrunners, write plot, write pilots and show bibles, focus on multi-season serialized TV rather than limited series. And over here from the Hollywood Reporter reports, I should have just pulled them up. The THR reports that Marvel did not adhere to the traditional TV making model for their shows. It didn't commission pilots, but instead shot entire $150 million plus seasons of TV on the fly. On the fly. Um, it didn't hire showrunners, but instead depended on film executives, not creatives, film executives to run its series. It relied on post production and let me take this down real quick. It relies on post production and reshoots to fix what wasn't working. Well, they didn't do a good job. And not, they did an okay job. But yeah, so that is pretty much what we saw um, from Marvel, and that's what the Hollywood Reporter has reported. So because of that, the reason why I think Echo will be pushed back and canceled is because it also involves a Kingpin in a way that they're no longer really using him. I don't believe because Kingpin was supposed to be a big part of the Echo show, so if that Kingpin is being represented in that show in that same way, and they're trying to move a different direction going into the future. I see that as the most likely one to get canceled. And in general, gentlemen, I'll just give you my opinion on this whole thing. It'll be very quick. Uh, good. So one of our one another awesome YouTube channel by the name of A Journey Through Cinema actually put out a video talking about why the MCU Disney Plus shows weren't operating as Disney Plus shows. He mentioned exactly what the THR reported, which is that there are $150 million movies that were cut up into TV shows, which is why some of those episodes would end so damn abruptly. And it'd be like, that's not how you end a TV show episode. Most TV show episodes have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like there's a whole through line through them. A lot of, if you watch Secret Invasion, was like scene, end. Scene, end. And a
Yeah.
lot of the Disney Plus shows were like that, which is not how you make television, as evidenced by, hey, we're going to use film executives, which is exactly what Chapek put in place when the moment he stepped on board, which was, hey, we're going to move the executives, we're going to move the creatives out. We're going to have executives determine what should and shouldn't work. So you had your tax guy making um, Disney Plus shows. Were all of them bad? No, not all of them were bad. Actually, I would say about most of them were okay, but they were kind of just okay. There, you have your few standouts like Loki and WandaVision and Miss Marvel, of course. Well, I'll say, of course, for myself. And then you had some other ones that didn't work as well. None of them were terrible except for one. Um, one. Uh,
Oh, two.
Two. What's the second one?
To me, the second one is Secret Invasion because of the finale.
Oh no, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
That's your one.
Um,
Yeah, I figured
yeah,
that. To
yeah.
me, the second one was Secret Invasion. To me, the first one was Hawkeye, which didn't work at all for me.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, that's
And he's
fine.
one of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite characters in the MCU, and I just
hmm
didn't like
yeah. I enjoyed that show for what it was. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was fun for me. For like just like a
it. I
little
liked Rogers
holiday
the musical.
romp. That was fun.
Like,
People have very
I like
mixed
that.
emotions about that.
Yeah,
But yeah, what do you guys
I
think
like
about
that.
this news of the MCU kind of restructuring the way that they're doing shows to run them as television shows as opposed to cut up movies? Zach, I'm gonna go with you.
I think that is makes sense. They took the wrong approach from the beginning, even though I like most of the shows.
Hmm
The Netflix Marvel shows had more impact on the culture than the MCU shows have.
For sure.
And they were built like TV shows. Even though you got all 8 episodes of those shows at one time, you wanted to
Hmm.
binge everyone because once one ended, it ended in a way like, oh, I got to see what happens next right away.
Yep.
And then you can go, you watch it, and then you talk about it with your friends. The only issue with them is that you got all the episodes. So once you finish that weekend, you talk on Monday. That was it.
Hmm.
With the MCU shows, they started off really with high potential in terms of like WandaVision was very creative with, oh, this is a 20-minute, we gave you 3 episodes, they're all small, and it's setting up the whole part of it, and you're like, oh my god, and then each episode ended in a way where you're like, I gotta see what's coming, the theories, so you're theorizing, you're having fun with the show, and that's why I love that show the most. And then Loki kind of had that too, but
Hmm.
then when Falcon and the Winter Soldier came, it had that on certain episodes, but not the whole thing. And I
Right.
realized that when I rewatched it with my mom, we watched all the episodes in one day, and I was like, "This is a movie.
Yeah.
This
It
should have just
really
been a
is.
Falcon and Winter Soldier movie. It would
It
have
could
been
have been a great movie.
amazing. It
Yeah.
could have been an amazing
That
movie.
opening scene.
The opening scene, the whole thing with the shield. You know how impactful in a
Yeah.
cinematic space with him crushing someone's head with a shield with the blood on it. That would have been in a
That
movie
should have
theater
been
on a
the
big
first
screen.
movie.
Yeah,
The first.
that
Yeah.
there should have just been a Captain America movie. Call it Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then
Hmm.
that's him getting crowned as Cap.
Yeah.
Um, and the Flag Smasher stuff could have been better. But I mean,
Yeah.
not getting
I
too
think that
far
was
into
like
it.
hit
But
by the pandemic, but yeah. But no,
yeah,
I don't disagree. Yeah.
yeah. And then as you go through the series, like only one of these shows that I didn't like, and it's the
Hmm.
main reasons that you're talking about here. You can see it in Secret Invasion a lot. The
Yeah.
executive decisions, not understanding how to flow a show, the egregious episode of him kissing his wife, and then it just fades to black. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was
What
that?
was that? What
What
was that?
happened?
Yeah.
Nothing. So
Mhm.
I think it's smart that they're gonna go back to making actual television shows that make people don't feel like this is homework. It's something that
Mhm.
I'm gonna sit down and enjoy. And it's
Yeah.
not just 6 episodes, which is another thing, which was really dumb. You don't have to
Yes.
spend $150 million each episode. You just have to do
Right.
it when there's action scenes in episodes,
Yeah.
especially with powers. Slow
Mhm.
down, spend a decent amount, maybe 15 mil, like most people do, on an episode. And then when
Yeah.
you get to that episode that's really CGI heavy, then spend the money. That's
Yeah.
all.
Totally agree. Um, DJ, what did you think? DJ, by the way, I just want to say one thing.
Hmm.
You're okay.
Yeah,
It's all
I'm
good.
about to throw my phone in the dumpster
I know.
outside, and like,
I know. You're
this
good, man.
camera situation is seriously bugging me right now.
You saw the steam coming off his head, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was like, oh man, that Von
It's
Dutch
like
is about to
it,
explode.
I see it start working again. I switch back over, and then 5 minutes later, it just cuts out. And I'm just like,
Yeah. We got you, man. It's all good.
yeah.
It won't be like this always.
Think about this for a second. You got a subscriber tonight.
Yeah, I think I was at 169 a minute ago.
Nice.
All right.
Hey,
So we're talking Marvel.
Yep.
I've had some conversations with you guys recently about how much I've enjoyed Phase 4 and Phase 5.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And that includes the shows,
Yeah.
but I'm also not a moron.
Mm.
Despite how I may appear.
DJ.
Look, these shows have problems, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not one that, like, even though I'm enjoying a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing here,
Mhm.
I also see all the issues that are happening. I'm just enjoying so much of the stuff that I do like enough that it's kind of overpowering all the negatives that I'm trying to look over here whenever I see these shows, because these shows, man, Zach, you hit it right on the head. These 6 episode stuff, that's
Yeah.
bullcrap. There is no
Yeah.
reason for that. Man, that's frustrating, because there are so many of these shows that I've liked. Even Secret Invasion, I was enjoying most of that show through most of the season,
Same.
and it just started. And I saw the writing on the wall the last couple episodes leading into the finale. I'm like, I don't know if this is going the direction I'm going to want it to go. And when it hit, I'm like, I was afraid of this, and
Yeah.
I hate that I even have that feeling. And that feeling came from that happening before, because my third favorite of these shows is Moon Knight, but even that one, the finale, almost ruined it for me.
Yeah.
And I have felt that with so many of these shows. And as much as, even though I don't have Loki at the top of my list, at least when it finished, I felt satisfied with that ending. in the first season, and I didn't feel that way with most of these shows. WandaVision, it's my favorite show. The finale, one of my least favorite
Least
episodes
favorite
of
episode.
the show,
Yeah.
of the season. So I see these issues they're having, and seeing now what we're hearing about what was going on, and we knew kind of some of this, and we knew that when Chapek come in, some things got changed and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But the fact that there's no showrunner, no show bible, like
Which
this
is
is
crazy.
I don't make shows. I know
Right.
better than that, you know.
Yeah.
Like this is wild to me. Like it makes no sense whatsoever. Some of the decisions that were being made with these shows, and even though I have egregiously said that I love these Phase 4 shows, like I see the problems, and I don't blame a person a bit for falling off of Marvel after seeing some of this mediocre content we've got.
Yeah. For sure. I think that you all make good points. When you bring up Moon Knight, Moon Knight was a show I really enjoyed. Like I enjoyed a lot of it. But after seeing this report and after watching Journey Through Cinema's video on the Marvel TV shows, it really kind of came to, I don't want to say fruition because that's not the word I'm looking for. I really came to realize like how much that show also suffered from just kind of being cut at the most inopportune
Yeah.
times. And stuff
Should have
like,
been a
and
movie.
especially in the finale, it should have been a movie, and especially the finale where the fight between
The
gosh,
kaiju fight.
no, not the kaiju fight, which was, I was okay with it. But more so the fight between Moon Knight and God, what is the main villain's name? Um,
Oh, that Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. Like when it ended with like him switching personalities and then him just holding him with the weapon to his head. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not how you end the fight scene. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just kind of
That kind
like,
of stuff was cool at the start when you're figuring out the mystery of Moon Knight. That's not cool
exactly,
once we've seen who Moon Knight is.
exactly. And there's
That
no
show had
like,
so much potential.
Mhm.
yeah. And speaking of that potential, Zach, it really showed in that flashback episode where we're going through Steven's like history with his mom and his history.
So good.
That, I mean, when he's kneeling on the ground and like
Crying.
crying to his
Yeah.
mom, or crying period, because he can't, like, yo, I cried. That was a great episode. And there's been little gems throughout the Disney Plus shows
I was
of
about to
that.
say that.
Yeah,
Every
so
series, maybe
mhm,
except Secret Invasion, has one episode which is like HBO level outstanding television. At
right.
least one.
Yeah,
And it's just like every episode should be like this. If you're gonna only do 6 episodes, you have to
right.
give me this every single time.
Yeah.
Can't
I think
lollygag.
Yeah, I think to your point, Secret Invasion had moments like that. If you remember, like the scene at the dinner table where
Yes,
Nick
I was
and his
just thinking
wife
that.
are reciting that poem to each other before they would try
Yeah.
to blow each other's heads off. That was, and like the way they even set it up with the poem at the dinner, like that that was great.
I'm
Um,
with you on that scene, but that
yeah.
wasn't a full episode. That was one scene.
Exactly. But yeah, so I'm glad that like I'll end it by saying this. I'm glad that they recognized that there was something wrong that wasn't working. They scrapped Daredevil. What they've done with Daredevil so far, which as an actor, I guess you like. I know people are like, yeah, they get paid so much money, it doesn't really matter to them. I don't think that's true. If I work on anything and it gets scrapped, I feel a certain way because I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that. Maybe that's a little too extreme, but I put my hard work into that. You got to memorize scripts. You got to show up to set. You got to be physically in shape. You have to do all these things. You have meetings. You have scenes that you're proud of and scenes that maybe you're not. But it's definitely like it's got to suck to just have your work cut. However, comma, it's not like the actors are being cut, at least to our knowledge. Like they're going forward with Daredevil, but just in a different direction. Um,
One thing I gotta say to close
yeah,
this off, I think the
yeah,
most biggest thing outside of this, all this stuff that no one talks about, I think that the fact that after Endgame, for whatever reason, Kevin Feige just lost control over the actors and the writers,
yeah,
and they all were just saying a bunch of bullshit that was
yeah,
so negative I don't want to be Thor. I don't want to be Wanda. I don't want to do this forever. I don't
Yeah,
watch the movies. And then all these writers like, oh, the fans don't get it. We have to dumb it down for you. It's just like, shush. If we're
yeah,
complaining about something, hey, just shut up. Like when Thor Dark World came out and people did not like that movie, Kevin Feige and the
didn't hear
writers
about
didn't
it.
come out right away to be like, no, you're wrong. They just shut up and then made Ragnarok. They were like, okay, we're gonna shift over to
Right.
another thing. When Captain Marvel came out, even though it made $1 billion, we have a new creative team because they saw that there was a
Yeah.
problem.
Well, you know what I think it was, Zach? I think that I'm I don't think that the actors I don't know this. I don't know any of this, right? I don't think that the actors actually thought that Thor: The Dark World was bad until they saw the reaction. I
I don't
think
think
that
it's bad, and I don't think they do
yeah,
think it's
yeah, I think that about to say Scarlett Johansson. I think that the Olsen, one of
bad.
them, uh, which Elizabeth Olsen,
Elizabeth, oh, yeah,
I
Liz.
think Elizabeth Olsen was disillusioned by the whole process when she
Mhm.
went into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and realized you guys didn't read you guys didn't look at what I worked on. We're
Yeah,
doing the same thing again.
this is
Like
a very egregious.
I just spent all my time on this, and as you both of you guys know this, of course. Like movies are made, and they're not put out for months and months, and sometimes a year and some change, right? So
Mhm,
she knew this entire time after working on WandaVision, because I'm assuming that she didn't go straight from WandaVision into filming Doctor Strange. Maybe she did, and I don't know. But I would assume that there was some time. She took some time off. She came back. She comes to set, and wait, I'm doing what again? I just got over the kids thing. Like we just resolved this, right? So and granted, there was the like the end credit scene of WandaVision was like, oh, the Darkhold. But even that is kind of like even that I would venture to believe was more so filmed during Doctor Strange time
mhm.
than
It felt
anything else.
completely different from the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would I could imagine being like, hey, this guy Chapek's in charge. Kevin's really not in charge anymore. We had to go. Remember the whole contract dispute with Scarlett Johansson, or the payment dispute with Scarlett Johansson that she
Who?
had never dealt with Bob Iger, which is very weird to say, or
Kevin
uh,
Feige.
conf- or Kevin Feige or anything like that. That whole thing went down because of Chapek, and then what it had nothing to do with Feige or anything like that. Feige just wants his actors to act. He don't handle contract negotiations. So what do you guys think in the comments about Marvel changing their formula from doing the shows without a showrunner to doing the shows with a showrunner and creating a story bible and pilots? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to reply. See you guys next time. All right, so let's move on to